Hi, my name is Jeanette Mancha, and I am the co-founder of Sport Cabanas. Another JA student and I started our company because JA planted the seed that inspired us to start our business. Madison, do you want to start your own company?
Yes, I would love to start my own company. I have no doubt that our businesses will flourish if we follow the paths of the strong women who have come before us.
Our next honoree helped transform Denver into the beautifully landscaped, vibrant city. Please turn your attention to the screens as we learn more about Ann Evans.
She had an enormous zest for life.
And her spirit is here so strongly. It's amazing.
Ann Evans devoted her life to founding and supporting many of Colorado's largest and most important cultural organizations. A true pioneer, her legacy is building all the things that last when the gold is gone.
She was the original startup girl, because the thing that's so wonderful is all her startups lasted. And not only lasted, but increased in value.
She was very creative. There was nothing she didn't try, I don't think.
Ann Evans was the daughter of John Evans, the second territorial governor of Colorado. Born in London in 1871, Ann was educated in a small private school in Denver. The family home at 1310 Bannock is now the Byers-Evans Museum. A tomboy growing up, Ann loved spending time at the Evans Ranch in Evergreen.
When she became an adult, she could never understand why was that building down there when the views were at the tops of these lovely hills.
She longed for the day that she could build her own mountain home with this spectacular view. The cabin, built in 1910, is on the National Register of Historic Places. Young guests were quickly informed of the rules.
And then she said, but there's really only one rule. You must have fun.
And they spoke all the time about the wonderful summer events that took place here, whether it was just 3 people getting together and writing songs or a house full of 40 people with elaborate plays going on and circuses in the meadows and large all-day, sometimes 2-day treasure hunts on horseback that Ann Evans would write for them.
Ann developed an appreciation for art at an early age.
She was going to be a professional artist.
It was part of a woman's education to be sent to Europe, to learn about the culture.
She was on the board of what started out as the Denver Artists Club and eventually became the Denver Art Museum. And she announced that this was the happiest moment of her life. Great. As soon as she started getting involved in all of these organizational things, she stopped painting, apparently. Stopped painting.
Ann was very taken with Native American art. The Ann Evans collection of Spanish colonial art, donated to the Denver Art Museum, is part of the finest collection of its kind in the United States.
She was elected to be head of the Denver Public Library Commission. I think the only woman. She supervised the building of the first 8 branch libraries.
Her key project on the Municipal Arts Commission was the creation of Civic Center Park. Later in life, Ann's passion was directed toward revitalizing the Central City Opera.
Opening night in 1932, when Camille was produced with Lillian Gish, that morning Aunt Ann said to my mother, "Oh, I think you should go collect yellow flower petals, and we'll have you and a couple of your girlfriends scatter them down the aisles." And that started the tradition of the Central City Flower Girls and the Yellow Rose Ball.
She was passionate about getting things done. She didn't want credit for anything.
And I think that that's her spirit, is an indication of how she could identify with the human spirit and creativity, and that she valued that more than anything else.
I think it's everlasting. I think that the things that she helped instill for the state of Colorado will be here for generations and generations to come.
Please Please welcome Ann Evans' great-grandniece, Barbara Moore Rumsey, to the stage.
Good evening. You know, since 1871, members of Governor John Evans's family have cherished our beloved Anne. That's 5 generations. Members of my generation are overjoyed and proud and humble all at the same time that Anne has been chosen to be a laureate this year. We're profoundly grateful to many of you in this room. First of all, the selection committee. You've delighted us by putting Anne as a winner in the company of such wonderful kindred spirits as Ellie Calkins and Enos Mills. Second, no words can express the deep appreciation, admiration, and affection for Barbara Sternberg, Evelyn Waldron, and Jennifer Boone for writing the definitive biography of Anne. Published in 2011, that award-winning book, its title, as you heard in the video, is The Things That Last When the Gold Is Gone. It just says it all about Anne Evans, her endeavors and her values. Third, junior achievement. We are so glad to be here and celebrate you. Just know if Anne were here, she would have been your most enthusiastic fan and your heartiest supporter. For after all, Anne was a pioneer entrepreneur, and her startups not only lasted for decades, but they've increased substantially in value. For example, case in point, the Denver Art Museum now has the finest collection of Native American art in the world. So, she had other things. I always wondered, what did she have that made it possible for her to do so very much? Well, I always thought she had eyes that saw possibilities and a spirit and a will that could develop potential. But more specifically than that, she had skills, and she had one skill particularly is networking. She worked her candlestick telephone the way you kids work a cell phone. I swear. And you know what? She was modest. Anybody offer her a prize or a claim for her significant contribution, she'd firmly defer to one of her contemporaries, whether it was Helen Black or Jean Cranmer or Ida Cruz McFarlane. And also, she was very generous. It was said that she grub-staked a struggling artist the way her father grub-staked silver miners. But the thing that impressed me the most is she was so loyal and devoted to her startups in good times and bad. You know, when the economy was in the tank and the silver market had crashed and the Great Depression was among us, had started, she didn't jump ship. She steered that boat right through those troubled waters. She never gave up, and she never took credit for anything. The other thing that she was she was very private. She held her cards close to her chest and was such a contrast to her father and her brother's political and public life. And she was such fun, as Barbara Sternberg said, she had such a zest for life, and she ignited the creative spirits of others in so many ways. So finally, to all of you here tonight who have supported these iconic institutions with your time and your talent and your wherewithal, we salute you. Anne Evans planted seeds for sure, but you are cultivating a perennial harvest. Thank you.